Welcome. Hi, I'm Ivory LaNoue. Glad to have you back today. Oh my goodness, it's been an adventurous week. And somebody asked me earlier today what happened to my nose. This is recovering from a skin cancer treatment. So it'll be nicer to look at again in a week. I'm just sparing you that. Today, we're going to be talking about 10 ways to lift your mood. And towards the end of the show, I'm going to give you some instant ways to really just lift yourself up right away if you're feeling in a bad state. Before we get started, I want to say hello to my listeners in Frederiksson, Denmark. I see you on my stats week after week, and thank you for listening. Thanks for being part of this audience. So happy to have you with me today. We're going to jump right into this. There's just so much going on around the country, around the world. And though there is a lot going on in the US right now, it is certainly not limited to us. You watch the world news and it seems like there's chaos everywhere. I truly believe that is going to lead to something better, but doesn't make it much easier to get through it. So it's natural that you're going to feel down sometimes, that you're going to feel depressed, sad, anxious. But it's kind of good. You got to lift yourself out of that because otherwise it's affecting your frequency. And as I've said before, if your frequency goes down, then you can't really do your work. You're not helping to lift the frequency of the planet or the people of the planet. Hard to do, hard to just be yourself and feel good. I know I can't do my work if my frequency drops low. So I'm doing these things for myself too. Absolutely. So the first thing is stop being so hard on yourself. Oh my goodness. One thing I like to say is if you find yourself thinking mean things about yourself, something you thought, said, did, reacted, ask yourself, would your best friend talk to you like that? Would you talk to your best friend like that, to somebody you love? Then don't do it to yourself. We put a lot of pressure on ourselves. And it's great to aspire to greatness. It's good to aspire to greatness. But sometimes it's time to just sit back, relax, and recognize all the good things that you do have going on right now. And it might seem hard, but sometimes the only thing you might need is to put a little distance between yourself and whatever the issue is at hand. Right now, there's so many, pick one. Sometimes this can give us just a whole new perspective on the problem and on life. When you're feeling down, try this. Think about the things in life you're grateful for. And I like to start with basic things. God, thank you for this roof over my head, for decent food to eat, for a reliable car, for my family, my friends, for relatively good health. Everything I can think of, those are some big ones to me. Don't put the focus on what you don't have. That's never a good idea. Stop putting so much pressure on yourself to constantly achieve and be content with who you are right now in this moment. And I've said it before, but happiness really is a choice. And even in the worst circumstances, how you feel is your decision. Another thing you can do is stop feeling guilty for resting. I grew up in a family where it wasn't okay to stop for a minute. I love to read. I'm a voracious reader. And even as a small child, I usually had a book in my hand. And I can remember my parents saying, "What are you doing?" "I'm reading a book." "You need to get out and do something." And I'm thinking, I am doing something. I'm reading a book and I am really happy. And I've done my chores. I've been outside, so when you need some downtime, whether it's to read, to relax, to take a nap, take it. You know what you need. That's the important thing. Do you feel like you need someone to drag you just so you can take a tiny step forward? If so, try taking a 20-minute nap. Sometimes that can be the most restorative. It's just enough to make you feel rested and not enough to get you groggy. And you can feel so recharged and energetic just after that 20-minute little cat nap, dozing off for a little bit. Another thing is to get up and move. Getting exercise of any kind. I like to go in for me, nice weather, living in Arizona, is fall, winter, early spring. So in those times I go to the nearby state park and I walk around the lagoons, which are actually small lakes that are riparian habitats. And I walk around those every day and I just feels so good. I love listening to the thousands of birds. I love looking at the trees and looking at the sunlight dancing off the water. There's always people out there kayaking or fishing, talking to the fishermen. During COVID, it was just a lifesaver because I worked from home for so long and I got real lonely. So I could go and just keep my distance, but talk with people, interact, and I could tell it was really good for other people too. When it's too hot, like it is right now, I belong to a fitness center. And so I'll go there and do a workout. Do whatever you do what you love, go for a walk, do something. One study found that exercise, whether it's performed at a low, moderate, or vigorous intensity, is effective in treating mild to moderate depression. And you probably have some situational depression going on right now. I don't have depression, like clinical depression. I get situational depression, which means there's a reason to be depressed. There's a lot of things going on right now that are pretty depressing, but I'm not going to sink into that mire. I am not going to drown in the depressing news. I'm not going to do it. And I encourage you don't either. So whether you like dancing, yoga, Pilates, lifting weights, running, whatever it may be, hiking, go do it. Take a walk around the block. Let it lift your spirits. Many geniuses have had major breakthroughs while taking long walks. So there you go. You could join right in there. Walking gets you off your back, gets an exercise, and it lets you soak in some different scenes along the way. But whatever you do, get moving and don't get mired in all the negativity going on, the dense energy right now. 3, surround yourself with people you love. Boy, that's a big one. I am blessed that I have some family in state, and we do get together as often as we can. And it's very relaxing to just go hang out with family, people I've known my whole life, and brother-in-law, and just hang out with them and relax and do nothing. Maybe play a game, maybe just sit on the porch, and maybe we go for rides and look for elk and deer, or go for walks and look for elk and deer. Whatever you do with the people you love. I'm also blessed that I have wonderful friends here in the Verde Valley area, which is central Arizona. And I truly love getting together with them as well. So whoever it is that you love, the people that make you feel loved, that love you as you are, that you always feel better around them, whether it's your birth family or family of choice, they're all important in your life. Spend time with them if it makes you feel good. And if you can't see them in person, pick up the phone and call someone you love. Do a Zoom session. I can laugh about it now. It wasn't so funny then, but my 60th birthday was the first year of COVID, and no one was getting together. Normally we'd get together. We were going to go to Hawaii for mine and my sister-in-law's 60th birthday. That didn't happen. So I had a Zoom party, and it sounds sad, but it made me feel a lot better just to see the faces and talk to my loved ones. And it really did kind of save that birthday. It felt good just to see them all there. And no, I didn't have cake, but they sang happy birthday to me, and that's fine. Many studies have pointed out the importance of social support on overall well-being. It's more important than a lot of people realize. Tough days are inevitable. We all have them, and it seems like there's a lot of them lately, but you have to rise above that. You got to do it. You've got to find a way. But having those people to go to makes a world of difference and can help you turn things around. Even if you're having a really bad day or bad week, spending time with those people that make you feel good can just rejuvenate you. If you've been suffering from depression or excessive stress for a long time, as many have, support groups can also be a great way to find connection. I've said it before, but a support group doesn't have to be a formal support group. I am a big advocate of finding your tribe, your social group, your spiritual circle. And a great way to find it in the modern age is to go to a site called meetup.com. Sorry, allergies, meetup.com. And you can just enter the word spirituality and how far you're willing to drive, and a list pops up of all the meetings near you. And if there's none near you, consider starting one. I did that twice, once in Prescott and once in Cave Creek, because there either wasn't a group at all, there was nothing close by, or there was nothing that really struck my fancy. And I'm still friends with the people that I met in those groups. So it's a great way to build yourself a spiritual support system, because you need somebody that you can talk to about your spiritual journey, about what you're experiencing, your gifts, your expansion, dreams, anything that's paranormal, supernatural, angelic, anything that maybe Uncle Joe might look at you and go, what? So finding a group that you can just talk to, that you can be yourself around, is so important. And additionally, touch is an absolutely great healer for people. So those you feel safe touching, I know COVID's on the rise again, I know. Hug those you can, hold the hands of those you can, touch a little bit on the arm, whatever you feel safe doing with the people you feel safe doing it, they need it. Just that little bit of touch can really soothe the soul, can really feed something within a person. I can remember again, after working from home and living alone for 15 months during the early part of COVID, I was so starved for touch that I went to get a massage at the end of that, and I cried. And I was like, wow, that was like my eye-opening moment of how important it is to get some touch. And it was wonderful. It helped a lot. The deep, nurturing nature of a tight hug releases happy hormones in your brain and makes you feel better instantly. And you're going to help the people that you're hugging. So again, if you feel safe, I'm not pushing you to hug people you don't feel safe about, but please do. Number 4, find a way to laugh. Boy, your joy guides are probably all over this one. I feel them coming in right now. I feel mine and several others coming in. And those are the happy little angels that are in charge of uplifting you and reminding you to have fun, to laugh, to enjoy life more, not to just work all the time, not to be so serious. And you can remind yourself of that too. It could be actually your inner thought, and it could be your joy guide prodding you like, hey, watch something that makes you laugh. For me, okay, I'm going to date myself right here, but I have the entire collection of Monty Python's Flying Circus. Yes, I do. One of my favorite things. I love British humor, and also the whole collection of The Office. So those are my mental health, make you laugh, feel better. I watch one of those every single night, and as needed. Take sort of like some people take a pill. I watch an episode of one of those. So whatever makes you laugh, whatever is funny, whether it's a movie, a comedy special, going to improv, whatever it may be, being around funny people is a good one. Laugh more. Know that sadness is temporary. I mean, emotions are ephemeral. We can feel devastated one moment, and a few moments later, we feel laughter. You know, they kind of wash in and out of us, and we can go back and forth. So you don't have to be stuck in depression and anxiety unless you choose to. One study has pointed out that laughter decreases serum levels of cortisol, epinephrine, and growth hormones. So it indicates a reversal of the stress response. Therefore, that means laughter is especially effective if you've had a stressful day or you're just feeling frustrated with life. Who isn't right now, right? We're all in this together. Number 5, eat something healthy. Oh my goodness. Have you ever noticed if you stray off your eating plan? I don't like to call it a diet because that sounds like you're trying to lose weight. A diet is actually what you eat, but let's say your eating plan. So for me, I've always felt best if I eat mostly vegetables, but if I wander off of that, if I get busy and tired or lazy and I eat some fast food or I eat something that's got, processed foods, I start to feel sluggish and kind of depressed. And I feel unmotivated. And I'm like, what's going on? Oh yeah, I got to get back to eating a lot more healthy. So think about what you're eating, what you're putting in your body, and know that there's a lot of studies that point out a link between food and mood. So some suggest vitamin D can help lower rates of depression. Another found an association between depression and a diet that's rich in sugar-sweetened soft drinks, refined grains, and red meat. So those are 3 things you could cut back on or eliminate to see how you feel quicker. It's safe to say if you eat healthy foods like vegetables, fruits, nuts, and seeds, it can help you feel better and you're giving yourself the energy and nutrients your body needs. It's always a good place to start. Sometimes what's wrong with us is a physical thing, and we need to not think, oh, it's all spiritual. No, no, sometimes it's physical. Number 6, take deep breaths. I learned a great technique my first year working at a psychiatric hospital when I was new in the field of mental health. And I was involved in calming down an patient who was really kind of out of control. And the medical director told me this technique, and I did it. He told me to do that with that male client. And it was sort of miraculous. Like they were all wound up and they just calmed right down. And so here it is, so simple. You take a deep breath in through your nose like this, hold it a couple of seconds, and then let it out through your mouth in a slow, long hiss this way. When you feel like you've let all the breath out, force the rest out. Force it till you're sort of like, there's nothing left to force. 10 of those. And it physically forces your body to relax. It's amazing. Even people who don't want to relax, people who are determined to be escalated, will calm right down. So I know it'll work for you. I do it to myself sometimes when I get upset. Do you think I'm serene all the time? No, I'm not. So it's really important. I mean, the air that we take in, getting enough air in our lungs, making sure we clear out the other air out of our lungs. Most people do not breathe deeply enough. They don't focus on their breathing. And it's an automatic thing with our bodies. So it's natural that most people wouldn't think about it. But once you do, you can realize when you're breathing shallowly. I tend to do that when I'm super focused on something and I'll realize I'm almost panting. So I'll make myself slow down, do some deep breathing. Let's get this under control. Spend just a few minutes focusing on nothing but your breathing. Those long, slow breaths. And as much as you can, try to do that in a comfortable environment that's free of any distractions. That way you can really disconnect yourself temporarily from whatever's causing you stress or the multiple things causing you stress. And I should tell you, oh my gosh, the reason I'm doing this episode is my angels, sometimes I ask them, what do you think I should do? What would be a good topic coming up for the show? And I was laying in bed one morning and I heard them say, you need to lift them up. And I'm thinking about, they didn't say anything more. And I had just asked about what would be a good topic for the show. So I'm like, oh, I need to lift them up. Well, that makes sense because I'm having to lift myself up. So you can thank the angels for this topic. They said we all need it. Number 7, spend time with animals. Oh my goodness. I've got a lot of friends who are just total animal lovers. I would be, but I'm allergic to anything with fur and feathers. So I have to do it carefully. But the unconditional love you get from animals never fails to heal. And it can feel like someone's poured a magic potion over you, just all that love that a pet can give you. And science says that spending time loving pets can make a big difference on our moods. It's one of the best things to do to improve your mood because pets are therapeutic and they're smart. They can sense when you're sad. Dogs are especially good for when you're feeling down because they can motivate you to get out and walk. However, simply stroking a dog or cat or another soft pet can provide relief from stress and frustration. And even if you don't have a pet like me because of my allergies, or I'd have a dog, you likely have a friend who does. Try spending some time around their animals and watch your stress start to melt away. I used to do something. I know pet shops have their issues, but when I lived in the Phoenix area and I would feel down, I was in that toxic relationship I wrote about in my book, and I just needed to feel better. I'd go to a mall, go to the pet shop, pick out a puppy, put it in one of those little private rooms with me and spend an hour with that puppy. And at the end of that hour, I felt so good. I was smiling. I felt happy inside. It was good mental health for me. And now, living where I live in the country, there's lots of people in my neighborhood with dogs. So they walk their dogs past at least twice a day. I know the dogs in the neighborhood. I like to go out and pet them, visit with them, talk to them. give them treats. I have treats just for other people's dogs. Yes. And my family has dogs, so I get to interact with their dogs and get some pet time. So you can find a way. Number 8, do something spontaneous. Oh, this can be hard. You may not feel like doing much when you're feeling down. You can lose your motivation and feel just like hanging out around the house. But one of the best ways to free your mind of those pesky negative thoughts is to go out and do something totally spontaneous. I've said, this is the first time I've lived alone in my whole life. It's been quite a few years now, and I've really gotten into the groove because of being able to be spontaneous, and that I love. I keep kind of weird hours. Yes, I do. I'm a night owl. And there's times when I'll be like, you know what? I think I'm going to go to a movie, and it's nighttime. I'm like, yep, I'm going to go to a movie right now. Or I'm going to stay up and I'm going to watch a movie on TV, or I'm going to go listen to live music. Just boom, go. If I can do that, I do it. Or I'd say, I think I need an afternoon down at Red Rock Crossing, put my feet in the creek and play my harp down in that beautiful high frequency area here in Sedona, and I'll do it. And so, don't wait. Don't think you have to have special occasions or make plans in advance. If you feel like you need something, it's probably your higher self calling out for it, letting you know, hello, you need this. Go have some fun. Go relieve some stress. Take an impromptu road trip. Go visit a friend you haven't seen in a while. Visit your favorite store and treat yourself to a new outfit, or just go shopping and don't buy anything. There's some great places in this area for that. Volunteer at a homeless shelter. Anything. Just get out of the house, new scenery, new people. By stepping outside of your routine, even for only a few minutes, you inject some motivation and positivity into your day. And I have to say, I think we all need as much of that as we can get right now. I know I do. I can't believe that I'm alone in this, especially because I'm kind of a Pollyanna. If I'm feeling it, I figure most people are. Number 9, read something inspirational. Words have the power to heal and pick you back up when you're down. Go online and search for inspirational quotes. I have to do it every day because I need to post things for social media, and I'll find great quotes and I'm like, oh, that's so deep. I'm going to absorb that one for a minute. Let me just soak that one in. Watch a speech from a famous and inspiring leader you admire, or read a thoughtful or inspiring book. It's great for a rainy day when you're stuck inside. It's also great when you just don't feel like going out, but you need to be uplifted. And so read something that's going to take you out of it, not something that's going to be anxiety ridden or scary or depressing, something that's going to lift you up. My friends have been laughing at me because I told them I used to have nightmares every night, really bad nightmares. And I realized, well, hello, I was reading Stephen King books before I'd go to sleep. I can't read things like that. I can't go to scary movies. As my frequency has rise, I can't do those things. And I didn't realize it at that point, but hello, that was a clue by 4. So now, years later, I've developed a habit of before I go to sleep, I read books that are about Amish lifestyle, or about Ireland back in the 40s and 50s, just everyday people, their lifestyle. They're very low key, very mellow. Nothing horrible happens. I need that. And I sleep so good and my dreams are so sweet. And I recommend that. I mean, watch what you're putting into your brain, especially shortly before you go to sleep. Might I suggest my book, Let Your Angels Lead? It's very uplifting, very loving. The angels have a lot to say to you in that book, as do I. And you'll be learning how to connect with your angels. A book I recommend frequently, and I have it right here. Let me show it to you. It's called The 4 Agreements, and that is by Don Miguel Ruiz. It's everywhere. It's in libraries. It's in bookstores. It's little. See how little it is and thin? It's an easy read. Let me cough. Very easy because it's in short little chapters, easy to digest. And he actually suggests that you just read a little at a time. Frankly, I liked that book so much that I modeled mine after that and wrote it in short chapters, short sections, so you could read a little bit, put it into practice, come back and read some more, because most people don't like to read a lot or long periods. So I want to make it easy. But whatever book does it for you, whatever book, maybe you've got a favorite. Oh my gosh, here's one. You girls out there, Anne of Green Gables. Love that book. I probably read it 50 times in childhood. I still have that book here. I used to love reading the Bobbsey twins, all of those Nancy Drew mysteries. I loved all of those. So whatever just lifts you up, whatever makes you happy to even think about reading, read it. Number 10, get some work done. I'll make a confession to you. I'm a Virgo with OCD. I love me a productive day. At the end of the day, I like to sit down and kind of tick off mentally, what did I get done today? Oh, I got these projects done for work and I got things done around my house. I contacted some family. I finished a project. I love that every single day I possibly can. And it makes me feel good. It's a great way to lift your mood, take your mind off negative thoughts. And I've always felt like if you're freaking out, if you are really freaking out, you're anxious, put your mind into something positive. For me, what I used to do, and I still do that sometimes, if I start to worry about things, I'll pour myself into marketing my business or, doing some new graphics for my business, something. I want to do something positive that's going to help people, that's going to move things forward, that's going to result in something positive. Because if I just sit around worrying and you sit around worrying, we are adding to the problem. It's also too important to realize that body language affects how we feel. If you want to feel friendly, smile more. If you're feeling sloppy, dress smartly. Whether it's your job, doing chores, or working on a project that you're passionate about, getting things done will help you feel productive and free up your mind. Another thing about that too is procrastination causes anxiety, and clutter causes anxiety. There's plenty of studies to verify that. So maybe concentrate on clearing one cluttered space at a time, and also getting projects done that need to be done and trying to stay on top of those, because it'll reduce your stress automatically. That's something you do have control over. That's something you can make a difference with. Organize your day and utilize your best times. If you're a morning person, organize your day so you get the productive stuff done in the morning. I'm kind of a late morning and then late night person. So I divide it into two and I get things done in both those windows, but whatever works for you, we're all individuals, right? Feeling productive is one of the best rewards the human brain craves. And keeping a list of the not to do is recommended by experts as a wellness boosting exercise. So things you don't want to do, keep a list of that and kind of look at it now and then to remind yourself of what you don't want to do. Not things you're trying to avoid, but behaviors will be detrimental to your emotional health. So early in the show, I did say that at the end, I'm going to give you a couple of helpful hints, more than a couple, that are going to instantly lift you up out of depression and anxiety. And here we go. They're easy. The first one is singing. It's not about being a great singer. It's not about being the best. It's about just singing. So if you don't like your voice, or people have told you, oh, stop that racket, sing by yourself, sing alone, do it for you. But there's something about that really lifts the frequency. Playing music you enjoy, sing along with it, don't sing along with it, but play the music. Playing musical instruments, if you do that, that's something big for me. Like I try every day to play at least 10 to 20 minutes of one of my instruments, because it's a meditative state for me and I always feel better afterwards. Another one is dancing. Again, you don't need to be the world's best dancer. You just need to put on some music and move to it. Laughing, we talked about that earlier, laughter. Spinning. You've heard of the whirling dervishes. It's actually a spiritual thing for them, but I tried it once, just not to be a whirling dervish, but just spinning. And it's actually quite fun and it makes you laugh and it lifts the frequency. So try that. Plant something in the ground. There's something about getting your hands in the soil, connecting with earth, watching something grow, harvesting something if you can. Something real quick is a whiff of peppermint essential oil. I find that to be tremendously uplifting. I'm not the only one. I just know it works really well. Eat an orange because the taste and the smell of the citrus will also lift you right up, make you feel better. And the last one, this is when millions of people have figured out watching videos of laughing babies and funny pets. There's a reason why those videos have millions of hits. You watch it, you laugh, you feel better. And if you haven't done it yet, you're missing out. Give it a shot. My grandson Mason got me hooked on TikTok last October, and now I just have to look at TikTok videos pretty much every day. So, oh dear. So some key takeaways here. When you don't feel your best, it's tempting to just wallow in that negative feeling. However, that's going to do you more harm than good. And if you're a light worker, as so many watching my show, listening to my show are, you can't afford to do that. You're here for a reason. You've got to rise above. Now that you're armed with ways that you can improve your mood, you can finally take back control of your life and not let negative things weigh you down. There's a lot you can't control, but you can control your mood most of the time. So I hope that was helpful for you. I enjoyed sharing that information with you. Come back next Sunday. I have a special guest. Her name is Sheelagh Marie Wright. She is the author of Living Your Life Purpose with the Angels. It's going to be really interesting, and I look forward to seeing you then. In the meantime, may your angels surround you. May your angels protect you every moment, every day of your life. I'll see you next week.